Hello dear students, myself Rajesh Dadich, your mentor in English from Shivjyoti Educational Group, Kota. So dear students, today we are going to discuss three of your prominent and important chapters of your supplement reader, and that is Vistas. And these three chapters are Should Wizard Hit Mommy, On the Face of It, and Evans Tries an O-Level. These are three very interesting stories and I hope you would really enjoy them. So have a look at them one by one. Here are they. Should Wizard Hit Mommy? Very interesting. So this story can be called a fable. First of all, let me make it clear. We may call this story a fable. What is a fable? A fable is a story in which the characters are non-human beings. Yeah, we know that human characters are also there, but at the same time we come across some non-human characters like animals and birds also in the story. That's why to some extent we can call this story a fable. Should Wizard Hit Mommy? Yeah, don't you think this title itself is a question? This title itself is a question, means we have to find out the answer to the question, should wizard hit mommy? And that answer you will come to know after you have gone through this chapter, right? So this chapter was written by John Hawker Updike, but in short you may say John Updike is the writer of this chapter. In a very exquisite way he has written this chapter. You know, students, child psychology is also there, has been beautifully delineated in this chapter. Child psychology. You know, when small children are there, we can tell anything to them and they do not retort or they do not put up any cross questions, right? But as and when they are growing up by and by in the due course of time, when they are a bit grown up, they start putting up questions. Just because of their inquisitive level, they become inquisitive and start putting up so many questions, and sometimes these questions really perplex us and we start scratching our head what to answer and how to answer, because they are innocent enough. They want to know each and everything because this is their first time they come across all these things, and these things may seem to them strange. That's why they put up questions. So in this chapter, father is there, and his name is Jack, and his wife, means I'm telling you main characters of this story. Jack, father, or maybe storyteller. Thereafter his wife Clara. His wife Clara is there, and this is a very beautiful couple, and they have two children. One is 2 years old son, and his name is Bobby. Thereafter one daughter is also there, and her name is Joanne, right? So she is 4 years old, and Clara, Jack's wife, is 6 months pregnant, means she is expecting their third baby. These are some major characters of this story, and in this story whosoever are non-human characters, and they are one mother skunk, then another character is Roger skunk, mother skunk's son, right? And one is owl, wise owl, who gives advice to people for this and that, right? And thereafter one more character is there, and that is wizard. Wizard, you know, one who spells magic. So with the help of magic, that wizard is able to do anything. So what I told you, mother skunk, Roger skunk's mother. So skunk is just an example, means this father Jack, he is in the regular practice of telling a story to his daughter Joanne. So whenever she has to go bed, finally she has to sleep, so she is also in the regular practice of listening to a story, enjoying a story told by her father. And every day this Jack has to take the names of different characters. Different animals are there, right? just like Roger Squirrel, as Roger Skunk, Roger Mouse, Roger Chipmunk, etc., etc. So, in this way he is telling the story, and storytelling is also a great art. So, have a look at some main points to remember, right? The chapter captures a very sensitive reaction of a small girl, Joanne, right, to an important aspect of the story that her father narrates to her. And sometimes Jack wishes would that John had been just a 2 years old baby like Bobby, his younger son, because now this Joan has become inquisitive by nature and she has started putting up so many questions. That's why he is of the opinion. The story reveals the world view of a little child to a difficult moral question that shows her mental or psychological richness. As we have already learned that as she is growing, her mental level is also growing up, and by she has started putting up questions, asking questions on this and that. And sometimes the answers are so difficult to give that even grown-ups also feel perplexed how to behave. We cannot scold these children because out of curiosity they are asking questions, and it is not fair on our part to scold them. As far as possible, we all mature people, we all grown-ups are supposed to satiate their query, satisfy their questions, right? Joe. In short, we can call this little girl John. In short, we will call her Joe. Joe is a little girl of 4 years. She is engaged in a story session with her father. So currently, her father Jack is telling her a story and she is busy listening to the story. She is really enjoying a story narrated by her father, Jack. Right, and Jack is in job, so after the busy schedule while being in office at his workplace, he has to come back, and thereafter he has to start narrating the story every day. So this is also a kind of bonding, a strange bonding, a profound bonding between a father and a daughter. Jack, the father, used to tell her a story every evening, and especially for Saturday naps. Students, nap is a kind of sleep, short sleep. We may call it a siesta, a short sleep during afternoon time. After lunch, whenever we feel like sleepy, that sleep is known as nap. Right? Joe feels herself involved with the characters and the happenings. As she is growing older, she is growing mature, she asks so many questions regarding the different characters used by Jack while narrating the story to his daughter. The story always had an animal with a problem. Actually, whenever you are using different characters with the same second name, it is but natural you may get confused. So you may repeat the character's name, and here is the moment you are caught. Yes, you are caught up. So was Jack also once. He happened to repeat the same character, and his brilliant, intelligent, inquisitive daughter, Joan, means Joe, caught him. Father, just a short while before you were using this character, now you have changed the character. How come? Oh, sorry, beta. This is just a slip of tongue. So, the main character. Are you sure, Papa? Yes, beta. This is the character. Okay. So, this is just an example to show the sharp mind of children. The story always had an animal with a problem. Yes, every time means Jack was to tell a story related to any creature like bird, animal who was in problem, and Jack himself was to give the solution of the problem. In this way, children are learning how to cope up with problems and how to solve the problems with the ready solutions. And sometimes we have to work hard to get the solutions also, as in the examinations also you have to find the solution after working too hard on them, right? The owl the old owl advises them to visit the wizard who would solve the problem. So, in Jack's story, he has one more character, and that is owl. And this owl always suggest these characters who are in problem to seek the solution of their problems. Better they go to the wizard. Skunk's problem. He smelt bad. Roger skunk. This is one of the properties. This is one of the characteristics of his physical appearance, that he gives out very bad smell. He gives off very bad smell, or we may call he is a smelly creature. This is their spontaneity. This is their natural character, right? Natural characteristics. And he smelled bad, visited the wizard who changed it to the smell of roses. What moral we get from this story? And that is, spontaneity should be retained, must be retained. Means whatever you are, just try to remain that. God has created every creature in this world with different properties, different characteristics, right? So, we should retain those characteristics given to us, naturally given to us by God. So, skunk family, skunk species is there, and they are supposed to give off bad smell. So, will they? So, no one should object to that. But this small, little, young Roger skunk character has a problem, that he says, it's fine, when it is my problem, it's fine, I can bear with it. But what? When nobody, no friend of mine feels like playing with me because they hate my smell, they hate the smell my body gives off. They keep distance from me. I also want friends, but nobody wants to play with me. That's why I want my smell to be changed from the smell of Roger skunk to a smelly, rosy smell. Not Roger skunk, but rosy skunk I want to be. Rosy means something related to roses. Skunk's mother was unhappy with it. When Roger skunk got back home, his mother was feeling very awful, and she just said, how awful, how bad smell you are giving off. Mom, what are you saying? I am smelling very sweet. Means this is the smell of rose, and you are saying this is bad smell? No, I do not like it. She asked each and everything. Then Roger skunk tells his mother each and everything, how he got this smell. Skunk's problem. He smelled bad, visited the wizard who changed it to the smell of roses. Skunk's mother was unhappy with it and took him back to the wizard to retain that, to restore that smell. She hit the wizard and asked him to restore the original smell. Yes. She wanted her son to keep his identity of a skunk and wanted his friends to accept him for himself. Whatever he was, however he was, they should accept if they want his friendship. So, the wizard changes him back to smell like a skunk. After hearing the story of Roger skunk, Joan was not happy with the ending, was not happy with the climax. Actually, she is just a child. So, every now and then she puts up questions and she gives her opinion. So, now she gives her opinion to her father. Father, please do not make this ending, do not make this climax in the story, because I do not want his smell to be changed back. So, Father, please change the climax. And why Roger skunk's mother hit the wizard? No, it's not a good thing. So, please make something. Please make that wizard hit back Roger skunk's mother. That's why the title is, Should Wizard Hit Mommy? Students, parents are never wrong, and parents never go against us. They would never behave anything that would cause any harm to us. This is the moral. So, whatever our parents doing for us, thinking for us, we should unconditionally, we should abide by that. Okay. So, she wants her father to change the ending. She wants the wizard to hit the mother back and let Roger Roger B, which her father was not ready to do, establish his authority. Father is saying, who is telling the story? Of course you, Dad. Then, do you want to listen to the story? Yes. Then keep listening to the story and don't speak in between. This is my story and it's up to me. Whatever climax, whatever the ending I am making. So you just listen to the story and just fall asleep. Oh, Papa, please change. Okay, we'll see to that. So, saying so, he is just leaving the room, but all of a sudden, she once again gets up and, Papa, do you still remember you are going to change the climax? I told you, I'll see the matter tomorrow. Till then, just go to sleep. This raises a difficult moral question whether parents possess the right to impose their will on their children. Two things are there, students. Her father said, this is my story, so I will narrate the story the way I like. So, should they really impose their own wish on the tender-minded children? And second thing, should the parents subdue, should the parents give in before their children? So, these are some moral questions and we have to think on them. Her father finds it difficult to answer her question and in this way, leaving her, he leaves the room and he goes down, means on the ground floor. His wife Clara is already busy painting some furniture and she is 6 months pregnant. She is expecting their third child, third baby. When he goes to her, she also had been waiting for him to come down, so she just made a comment. I think today your story must have been longer enough. So he was actually not in mood because he was already frustrated while narrating different stories with the same characters or different characters. So he just wanted to talk to her, and when she put a comment, so he also got confused what to do and how to do. So in the end, Jack's predicament, a father's predicament, has been shown and the story comes to an end. I hope, students, you might have liked this story, right? So now we are going to switch to the next story, On the Face of It by Susan Hill. On the Face of It, you might have seen my videos, and in those videos, in the live sessions, you also might have come to know the story. Each and every point has been well discussed. So this is just a revision session. I am just trying to brush it up before you, right? So just get started. The story, On the Face of It, means face means outer appearance and inward appearance. Two things are there. What is good? What is better? I think man is handsome by the deeds he performs. Means handsome is what handsome does. Dear students, this physical outer appearance is not as important as our inner appearance. Means our beautiful thoughts are important, not beautiful structure is important. This may be important, but not as much as our beautiful thoughts, our mentality, our ideology, our psychology. That should be beautiful. That can make us, that can keep us immortal. But this physical appearance is just the guest of a few years only, and one day it is sure to grow old, and one day we all are supposed to kick the bucket. Means we all are supposed to breathe our last. Means we have to pass away. Each and everybody has to pass away. So don't be upset and just be positive. Never be shattered by negativity or adverse moments around you. Suppose you come across any adverse moment, any incident happens to you, any accident happens to you, just have patience. I know this is really difficult to undergo, but one must be patient enough and one must face each and adverse moment patiently. Patience is a good virtue. The story begins with a teenage boy, Daddy, and in this chapter he is known as Derek. So, daddy, who while entering a garden expects no one in the garden. He thinks that no one was in the garden. So, inadvertently, he just happened to enter the garden to enjoy. He didn't know anybody was there. He didn't know that somebody was already inside the garden, and that was none other than the owner of the garden. Right? An old man. His face is burned on one side due to an accident. You already know that he has half burnt face, and he had an acid attack, or maybe we can say that an acid was there on his face, and that's why half of his face got burnt. The boy tries to leave the place as he feels guilty for entering the garden without permission. You may call it a trespassing. The boy was of the opinion that he had trespassed, that's why he was just ready to leave the garden. The boy tries to leave, right? Mr. Lamb, the owner of this garden, the old man we are talking about, Mr. Lamb, welcomes him and tells him not to leave just because of his presence. Do not leave this garden just because of me. You may stay here, you may enjoy. Yeah, you may enjoy as long as you want, he said. Daddy and Mr. Lamb enter into a conversation about various things, and this leads to revelation of Daddy's fear, and in this way naturally his fear came out, and depression and hatred about his being in such condition. He was grudging every moment. He was the person of grudges, right, students? So this naturally comes out. Mr. Lamb tries to console Daddy. He does his best to enfresh his mind, console that he has a tin leg, and then he says that everybody is unhappy, everybody has miseries, everybody has miserable life. So what? It should not change, it should not alter the course of your life. He shows his tin leg because he had his leg blown off. So he says that kids make fun of him, and still he is not depressed and enjoys his life. So what? I have one tin leg. So what? When children make fun of me, but I know how to lead my happy life, and this is the way I am leading. It makes no difference to me what comments I am getting on my back. Mr. Lamb keeps on telling him to think of the positive things, and in this way and that way Mr. Lamb tries his best to infuse positivity, to inculcate positivity into this small character known as Daddy. Okay, students, this Daddy. Soon they become friends. Earlier, Daddy was of the opinion that they were not friends, but when Mr. Lamb asked him, what is required to be a friend? Should I make a file? Should I put your records in that file to make you my friend? What do you think? I treat you like my friend. It's up to you whether you treat me like your friend or not. It's a different matter. Mr. Lamb asked him to help him in plucking the crab apples of his garden. He tells each and everything about his garden to Daddy, and he says that he prepared jam, he prepared toffees from these crab apples, from the honey he gets from honeycombs, and beehives are there, right? So he seeks his help, that suppose I need your help, would you lend your hand of help to me? Daddy tells him that he had come too far from his home, and he had not told anything about this to his mother. His mother might be waiting for him, and his mother might be anxious about her son. Mr. Lamb tells him to take permission from his mother. Daddy finds it difficult, and this leads to a small quarrel between both of them. Means in this way, he goes over there, he tells each and everything to his mother, and his mother doesn't want her son Daddy to go back to the same garden where she had prohibited him to go, because she had heard a lot of negativities about that old man in that garden. At last Daddy tells him that he would come back. Daddy, while leaving that garden, he tells the old man, he makes a promise that he would surely come back after seeking his mother's permission. Daddy's mother does not want him to go back, but he comes back again to keep his words. Yes, one ought to keep one's words at all conditions, come what may. Meanwhile, Mr. Lamb climbs the ladder on his own to pluck the crab apples, as he was sure that Daddy would not return. Daddy would not come back. Mr. Lamb was sure that Daddy would not come back. That's why earlier he sought his help, but he knew that Daddy would not be able to come back, or maybe Daddy would not be allowed, would not be permitted to come back to this garden. That's why he thought it better to start plucking the crab apples, because he was to prepare some toffee and jams from those crab apples. Mr. Lamb gets imbalanced as he was plucking apples, and some far off apples in the tree were there, and as he wanted to pluck some trees, all of a sudden he got imbalanced, means he lost his balance and he fell off the ladder and died. He falls off his ladder and dies. In this way he met with his end. Daddy, on the other hand, returns to the garden to help him, but finds Mr. Lamb lying on the ground. He tries in vain to make Mr. Lamb, means actually he wanted to talk to Mr. Lamb once again, and he wanted to give this good news to Mr. Lamb, the old man, that he was back, because he wanted to help him plucking crab apples, but he was a bit late. And by the time Daddy got back, it was too late, and Mr. Lamb was already away from this world. Finally, he comes to know that Mr. Lamb is dead and starts crying, as children do. He recollects Mr. Lamb's words that had infused positivity into his approach to life, and he was very much thankful, he was very much grateful to Mr. Lamb, who had infused this rare feeling, he had really revived him, revived Daddy, because earlier he was of the dead opinion that people hate him, people do not like him, but then only he came to know that one is supposed to be positive in life and do not care for what others are thinking of you. You just focus on your good deeds, and one day your good deeds will come to light, and people would definitely for sure change their opinion about you. This is all. Because we are not to change the whole world, we are not able to change the whole world. We are with the world is not with us. Okay, so this story is over. I hope you might have liked this story. So let's switch to the next story, and more interesting story full of mystery. Do you know this story? And that is, just have a look. Evans tries an O level.